Good morning, everyone. Today is a special day because today is my birthday. It's a special birthday because I am turning 40. I am now 40 years old. It's kind of surreal to look back on 4 decades of life, but that is good. Everything's going well. Thank God I'm able to get out here every day and take the walk and share some time with you all. Since today is a special day, the walk is going to be a little shorter today. We're going to do a 2-mile walk today instead of a 3-mile walk, which is normally what I do. So today's walk will be 2 miles. So that means today's video will be a little shorter. You know what? I haven't even been keeping up with the views because, as I told you before, we're building something. We're trying things out. We're trying to see if they're going to work. So I don't keep up with the views. I appreciate the likes and the comments from time to time, but we're building something. Maybe you want to build something. Today's a good day to start. Go ahead and just start doing it. Take a chance. Figure it out. Start small. Start today. And let's just see what happens in the future. That's what I'm encouraging everybody to do. Life is short. You only got one life to live. And so we're trying to make the most of it. Just try. You never know what'll happen. Which brings me to one of the points I want to talk about today. Talking about trial and error. What things have I failed at? What things have I failed at, especially in the entrepreneurial sense? And if you watch one of the recent videos, I promised you I was going to give you some tips on applying for the Walmart marketplace and some of the things you want to look out for, because Walmart is such a tough marketplace to apply for and get accepted. So there's some tips and tricks. Those of us who have been part of several different applications have been able to learn some industry insights, and I am going to give you those industry insights today. As I started walking and started the video, I noticed I don't have my glasses on today. I was like, oh man, messing up my internet image here. The glasses have become a part of the image. So I'm a little bit off brand today. Let's get myself whole self into this camera. Okay. So that's what as I was thinking, I was like, all right, we out here, we doing it. As I told you before, I'm encouraging you to try something. We might fail. When we try things, we might fail. It's just part of it. You want to do something that you never done before. When you try it, I almost guarantee you're going to fail at some part of it. It is a part of life. It's almost automatic. There's some part of it that you're going to fail at. The question is, do you want the end result? Are you willing to push through, try again? As I said on one of my previous walks, perseverance, man, is what we need. So don't be afraid to try. So many of us live our life with ideas, with goals that we might have, things that we never reached out and tried to do simply because we were afraid to try. And we have to be honest with ourselves about that. We just have to be honest with ourselves, look at ourselves and look in the mirror and really ask yourself, am I afraid to try? And it's not try, right? Question is, are we afraid to fail? I'm not afraid to fail. I've come to the point in my life where I'm not afraid to fail. I keep thinking about all that I want to do, and in the past, all that I could have done had I simply put the effort in and actually tried to make it happen. Well, as you get older, I guess you're going to react either one or two ways, right? You're going to either get used to this route I'm walking today has far more cars, but luckily what I noticed with my noise filter is that it actually filters out all the cars. So good thing for you guys is that you only get my horrible voice and you don't get the cars, but it does throw me off as I'm talking. I'm trying to give you a message here about trying and about failing. We can't be afraid to fail. We can't be afraid to try. That's the only way things get done. That's the only way it's going to happen. It's the only way you're going to make it happen. Only way you're going to change your life. Only way you're going to change your family's life. Only way you're going to make an impact in the world is if you try. And I would go one step further. Only way you're going to make an impact, not only if you try, but if you fail. All the greatest achievers are failures. They just don't let it get to them. They don't let the failure deter them from the goal. I really want to talk about myself and the things I've tried to fail at. But sometimes my thoughts start to wonder while I'm out here on this walls. You know, my wife and I take the kids. Recently, last year, we had a yearly pass to Universal Studios here in Los Angeles. And we love to go to the Harry Potter. I'm calling it Harry Potter World. I don't know if it's called, I know it's called Harry Potter World. Probably called Hogwarts or something. I don't know. But the Harry Potter theme exhibits. And one time while I was standing in line, I was there thinking, I was like, wow, this is amazing. All these amazing rides, all the amazing attractions. I'm out there. I don't think I'm going to come on this route anymore. There's too many cars. I'm out there sipping butter beer, playing with magic wands, buying all kind of merchandise, Gryffindor merchandise, buying my kids their little Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw sweaters. And I'm like, this is amazing. All of this came from a story, a book that was written because somebody tried and failed tried again until they succeeded. And that's the part we don't know. The unknown part should probably be the part that continues to push us. Because we don't know what might become of our success. You think that you're just writing a book. You think that you're just starting a business to make a little more money on the side. You think that you're going to school just to get a degree, just to get a job. You think that whatever you're pushing for, that's the end, that you clearly see the benefits in your head and you understand that, oh, if I do this, boom, I'm going to be set up. It's going to be a little bit better for me on the other side. Truth is, you do not know that. And it's a funny thing. Success is like momentum. One win, one achievement starts to begin another. Started with finally finding someone to agree to publish the Harry Potter story. And that led to Harry Potter lands, Hogwarts schools, all over the globe. This book, this story, has people dressing up like wizards and going to amusement parks. That story has made Hollywood stars out of those actors. That story has allowed people to take part in it and make enough money to where they never have to work again. The actors and actresses that are part of that story, their roles are so iconic that it's hard for us to even see them as anything else. I think his name Daniel Radcliffe, right? I don't know. I call him Harry Potter. When you see him in another movie, was it Emma Watson? Well, I don't know. That's Hermione. And those iconic roles have catapulted those young people into success and fame from a story that they did not write, from a dream that was born long, probably before they were born. Who's waiting on your dream? Who's waiting on you to succeed? You don't even know who you're going to impact. You don't even understand that the world needs you to succeed. Somebody's waiting on you. Definitely, if you have kids, somebody's waiting on you to succeed. Somebody's waiting on you to try. Somebody's waiting on you to push through the failure, push through the fear, and make it happen. But you can't be afraid to try, and you can't be afraid to fail. Okay, so what have I done in this entrepreneurial journey in which I have failed at? Okay, where do I stuff? I think my first little taste of entrepreneurial pursuit, probably before this time, but I kind of marked this time in my mind as my first taste and really understanding what it meant to work for yourself, to understand that your output is directly related to your input. And how much you make is totally up to you and not up to any employer. And that is when I started selling Cutco knives, door-to-door sales. I was a door-to-door salesman for Cutco knives. We just hit the 1 mile mark. About to turn around and go back. I was a door-to-door salesman, Cutco knives, and however much money I made was totally up to me. I think you got paid like $7 or $8 for every presentation that you did, and then you got a commission on top of that for everything that you sold. And that was my first taste, definitely first taste into sales. But that whole pay scale, that whole atmosphere of sales and business, that was my first peek into it. And honestly, I didn't like it. And you want to talk about failure? I sold a little bit, but everything I sold was mostly to family. And honestly, as I look back on it, I think it was a good introduction, a good lesson to learn. If a young man told me he was doing it, I would say, hey, make the most of it. Try hard. Let's see what you can do. Sales is a good starting point for any entrepreneur. Even if you don't make any sales, the whole experience is something beautiful. Because it really is at the foundation of all business, is the sales. Even when you go to your job, you work in a sales machine. You work in a sales machine, and probably your cog, your little cube, your little department, you understand what's going on there, but do you understand why it's important in the broader scheme of making sales? So I did that. I worked in sales, selling the knives door to door. If I look back on it and critique myself, I would say I was small-minded. I didn't believe in the product, although they were very sharp knives and elegant. They look great. I learned a lot. I know what it is to have a full tang design, 3 rivets. You want the rivets instead of the screws. The screws come apart in the wash. They allow the food and the water to get into the cracks. The full tang design means that the metal from the blade goes all the way down into the handle, to the edge of the handle. Now, a lot of knife designers will actually expose the tang so that you can actually see it. You see that a strip or stripe of metal that goes all the way down to the bottom of the handle. And then you see the rivets in the side. That is a good quality manufactured knife. Even though depending on the type of steel, it might not be the best type of steel. But the knife that has the metal going all the way down into the handle, and you can see it, that's a good quality design. But I think I wasn't as successful there. Like I said, critiquing myself, I would say try harder, learn the sales process, learn how to speak confidently. Sales is all about confidence. That's why it's great if you're in sales when you finally land on a product that you really believe in, a product or a service that you really believe in, like I have now with the e-commerce services. I believe in this wholeheartedly. So It's easy for me to sell. It's easy for me to be confident in the sales and the sales calls and the sales moment. So that's what I would tell that young man, is to learn to be confident, is to learn to speak directly to people. These are skills that you need not only in sales, but you need in life. I think business teaches us a lot about life. Hey, okay, what else have I failed at? I sold the knives right before going into college. And that's what I meant by small minded. I just calculated how many showings, how many sales calls how many demonstrations I had to have, just to pay my bills, keep some gas in the car. So I'm getting $8 per showing. I'm like, all right, I just need to do this many showings just to keep me going. And you know what I did? I did that many showings every week. I found a way, found a way to do those showings, to have those sales meetings. But I accomplished that because that's all I set my mind to. I figured if anybody bought anything, it was just icing on the cake. So you can't be small-minded neither. So you have to be confident. You have to believe in yourself. I then moved on as I was in college. I didn't really have any entrepreneurial pursuits while I was in college. Really focused on my learning, playing football. And then as I came to the end, just trying to get a job. It wasn't until I was working as a here for a few years that I really started to think like, man, I want to do more. I want to do something myself. I want it to be great. Is what I often said to myself. Like, man, I want to be great. And I tell my wife this too. I'm like, I got a good job. I got life insurance. I got 401k. I got retirement set up. If anything bad happens to me, my family is going to be taken care of for the rest of their life. I've set up a structure that has brought safety and security to them. Now I could just put it in cruise control. I'll have a few million, maybe 4 or 5 million by the time I'm retired. It'll be a good life. Hang out with my kids. It's a beautiful thing. And that's all I got to do is put my head down and keep working. No problem. But I said, I can be great by putting it into cruise control. I can be great by reaching this plateau and saying, you know what? This is at least not in my own mind. And we all have to choose our path. And so that's what I told my wife. I'm like, all right, we have to try. We have to try to do more. And that's where my mind is as I go on these entrepreneurial pursuits. Now, I got into baking. I did it as a hobby, and I was like, let's see if we can make some money from this. So I got the little license to bake in my own kitchen. You got to take like a test, cleanliness test, and show that you understand food safety. And then they'll give you a license to bake out of your own home, and it allows you to sell to others. This was in the state of Arizona. So I did that, went through the class, started baking, selling cookies, pies and stuff, cake and whatnot. And I did okay at it, but I failed at it. Obviously, I'm not doing that today. I think it took a lot of time and it took a lot of effort. And at that time, I had a very young family. And at this point, although my wife is a little bit more okay with my pursuits, I would say that she wasn't always okay. Obviously, she wanted me around. She wanted the time. But she didn't see like I see. Like, again, seeing that more is possible and that I couldn't just put it into cruise control. And I talked about that before. These are the trials of entrepreneurs, especially if you have a family, when you're providing for your family. They want they want their time. They want their time with you. And they deserve that. But you're also trying to plot a course for a future. And this walk is almost over. But but I'm thinking also, just from a husband standpoint and from a man's standpoint, like there is a conflict where you are trying to provide, and provision takes time. Especially when you have to go outside to get the provision. But your family wants their time. You serve them with your church and in your community. That takes time. And it's only one of you. And so you always trying to find that balancing point, that point where you can healthily manage all your responsibility. So I tried the baking, failed at that. I also wanted to be a public speaker, and I still want to do some public speaking. Wasn't sure how to even go about that. So I went to grad school because I was very interested in learning more about my faith, learning more about the Bible, and specifically learning about apologetics and the defense of the Christian faith. And I thought, like, this would be a way to get into the speaking arena as well, develop more of an expertise, and then start to reach out in that vein. And I would say, so far, I've only done a couple of things with that expertise as far as public speaking. So that one, I wouldn't say I failed, but I'm failing and obviously not doing as much that right now. I got into e-commerce, and my first foray into e-commerce, trying to sell on eBay, doing that, going into the stores like Ross, Target, Marshalls, finding things on sale, selling on eBay. Failed at that. It takes a lot of time. I was like, oh my God, I got to go inside of Marshalls here. I'm looking for sales and deal scanning everything. I was like, you know what? More power to those people who do it, who, they leave the house every Saturday morning, Sunday morning, and they go scan like 200, 300, 400 items just to find the deals, put them up on Amazon, put them up on eBay. That's like, I can't do it. I don't have that time. So failed at that. Started an Amazon store with my wife. That didn't go as well as planned. And then really kept pushing down the e-commerce track because of the time savings and because it's able to be done at home. Finally linked up with some people who helped me to learn how to sell on Walmart, sell on eBay, and sell on Amazon. And then I decided to put together a course to try to teach others how to do the same. And I would say I failed at that because the course was hard enough to getting people to sign up. And then it was so crazy because people would sign up, but then they wouldn't do what you tell them to do. And for me, I didn't want to take people's money if they're not going to push through to the end and actually see the results. Now, there's a lot of people teaching courses out there, and for whatever reason, it's just part of human nature that, we make a commitment, it gets a little bit hard and people fall back, waste that money. But I didn't want people to waste money on my course. So that led to me eventually offering my course, turning it into a service where I do everything for you. I set you up on Walmart, set you up on Amazon, set you up on eBay. And then I walk through all the steps with you. And then after it's all set up, I'll source the products and sell the products. And then we just do a monthly profit split. People love the benefit of having the service and having the store, get all the benefits, and they don't have to do and learn the day-to-day work. And that's how I got here. And now I'm out on the walk on my birthday talking to you guys. So I'm coming to the end of the walk. I didn't get to the tips and tricks for Amazon. So not Amazon, but for Walmart. But this was a good talk. Promise. On the next time you tune in, I will start with how to get through that Walmart application. Okay. Love you guys. I'll see you later.